What's happening, everybody? Made it to the nick of time. Cracking open that Red Bull. Today we've got the strawberry apricot. All right. How's everybody doing out there? We got like one person on right now. I normally like to do it, panoramic style, but this thing is. Let's see if I can change that. No, we can share it though. We can share it to Twitter, and we're gonna share it again. How's everybody doing out there? Share, share, share. So we're just getting started here. Let's try this Red Bull. Ah, delicious, delicious. So I'm gonna start this week. This was seemingly a kind of slow week as far as the guitar thing goes. I didn't really see any product drops or anything. I did get up very early this morning. Now I get up at like 6 in the morning. Tim, what's up, brother? What's happening? I get up very early. Now you can hear there's another plane getting to take off. I should be doing this right on the runway. That would be hilarious. I may have to do that before I leave here, just to get you guys see where I'm at. It's been a slow week as far as guitar stuff goes. I haven't been able to play a lot this week, but I got up very early this morning and I shot 2 good videos. One was about, where is the fun in music, right? So, one of my, good compadres, fellow weekend warriors, I salute you. He did a post about, there used to be a lot of fun in music, rock and roll in particularly. There used to be a lot of fun. And it just seems like the fun's been sucked out of the music now. There's no sense of humor in anything. It's just like, where did the good times go? So I did a video about that. And then I shot another video this morning. I'm looking at a lizard over here. We've got lizards and everything. This is Florida. We are live in Florida. And there's another plane getting ready to take off. I did a video about, my time working in a pawn shop in Hollywood. Now, if you can only imagine, it was the late 80s in Hollywood and a pawn shop. Hey, Chris, what's happening? Chris is asking if I saw Hagar with Satriani while they were in Florida. Saw them in Atlanta. Put on an EVH clinic. Ah, that's cool, man. I did, hey, Brad, hey, Matthew, what's happening? I did not get a chance to see the Sammy Hagar, Van Halen tribute. Basically, when I thought about it, I said, oh, well, I was in Nashville, and I had, before I was planning to move, I had looked at tickets, and I was like, man, these tickets, they're just charging so much. And actually, the first time I saw Van Halen was on the 5150 tour with Sammy fresh in the band, and those guys were all fired up to compete with Roth, and that was a great, great show. So I know Satriani's a great player, and I know he's doing a great job. And those I saw some clips, but I literally looked up tickets the day they were in Tampa. I literally went, oh, maybe I can see them in Florida. And I hit, the dates, and it was like Tampa that night. And it was like 5 o'clock at night when I looked. And so no, it doesn't look like I'll get to see them, but I do have those strong memories from that 5150 tour, and that was a great, great show. Man, I wish I could see that now. I've seen clips, and Satriani's doing a good job. Is he 100% nailing some of the parts? I'm hearing I'm hearing some things different, but overall, I think it's a high value show. And I noticed something that he's doing. He's got that young kid on keyboards, but you know, there's keyboards on a few songs, but essentially, I noticed the young guy is singing the choruses. So Sammy's, you know, doing his verses and kind of doing his thing, and then when the chorus comes in, it's Mikey and the kid singing the choruses, and that gives Sammy a little bit of a break. Man, how old is that guy? George, thank you, thank you. Cheers to you, brother. How old is Sammy Hagar? Does anybody know? Oh, thank you, SM. Thank you so much. Thank you for that. Keyboard guy is Rye. He is in Satriani's solo band. Dwayne, what's happening, man? Hot Atlanta in the house. I tell you what, Atlanta is a great city, but man, the traffic. Whew. Anytime I gotta go drive, you know, south. And being in Nashville, Atlanta is always the drive-through point, you know, to go to Florida. Usually, unless you're going to like Destin. But man, I'm always trying to plan it, you know, and it's so hard to plan because it's like 3.5 hours to Atlanta. Sammy has to be north of 75. He is 76 years old. Man, I just, it's mind-blowing that these guys are doing this. At that age, man, I mean, for me to go play a 3 or 4 set down at the local pub, man, I'm gonna be just riddled the next day. And so, man, salute to Sammy Hagar, right? Cheers, guys. Thanks to SM for getting the chat going, kicking a few bucks in. It helps immensely. Keeping this channel going. People are digging the stories, digging the truth, right? You know, I've played so many different types of music in this career, and you know, it's like I was saying this morning, I shot 2 videos, and one of them's about the pawn shop and working in a pawn shop in LA. It's a pain getting old. Man, you ain't lying. It is literally a pain getting old. Whew, man, you know, the good news, we got good news, and it's good news. Bradio, what's happening? Jetsmon, how you doing? Good morning. Good news is we are going to close on our house just outside of Tampa this week. So, yeah, did you ever run into other singer-songwriters in Nashville like Billy Dean, David Lee Murphy, or Mark Colley? Mark Colley. Now, isn't Mark Colley the guy that did Johnny Cash-like thing? I think so. Mark Colley, this is a story, right? Okay, so I used to play this club in Nashville. It was called Atlantis, right? Now, Atlantis, this was Nashville probably, I'm guessing around, I want to say like 2003, 2004, maybe 2006. It's hard to put all these dates together. But I used to play this place like every Friday and sometimes Saturday. It was like a blues, it was a fine dining type place. But you know, we had a mixed band. It was like we played R&B and we had a killer band, and we would just be jamming, man. We would be just cranking out the funk tunes, just keeping the dance floor going and all that. And Mark Colley came in there, right? And I think he's diabetic, right? But I remember walking in the bathroom, and he had his case out with his syringe and all this. I was like, I mean, you see all kinds of things in a club bathroom, and that's something that's a little beyond the norm, right? But there used to be a guy. Now I'll tell you, this is all tied into Mark Colley, and Mark Colley was a country singer. For any of you guys who don't know, and I think he's a really good guy. He was always very kind to us. Watch the video jamming with the drummer and bass player. It was a jazz jam. Do a video on how you approach a backing track to figure out what you are going to play. Chris, I am going to do all of that once we get in a new place. What a drag it is getting old. But so check this out. So one night, I went out with a couple of friends, and we went to this bar in, it was like, I can't think of the name of the area now, but Hillsborough Village area. We're at this bar, right? And we're having a few drinks, and this girl comes up to the bar, and she goes, "It's my birthday, can I have a free shot?" And the bartender goes, "Sure." And she turns around and she's not looking. He takes the bar mat, the mat that collects all the liquid of the spill off. He takes that and dumps that into a shot glass. She has no idea. And we're kind of like going, oh my God. I'll get to that, Dwayne. J. Paul Britton. I don't think so. I don't think so. So he takes the bar mat and empties it into a shot glass. The girl turns around and goes, "Here you go." And she takes, and it is this brown, nasty ass shot of spill off. I mean, it could have been anything, you know. And she knocks it back, and we're like, holy crap. But we're standing there, and we're kind of talking to her, and she's, you know, she's kind of cute. And she goes, "Yeah, I know, Chris." So she drinks this, and then she goes, "Well, hey, my dad is, he likes to party, and he'll have, you know, party favors at his house, and we always go over there and hang out. Do you guys want to come hang out?" And we're like, "Oh, okay," you know. So you don't threaten us with a good time. No, she didn't projectile. She knocked it back, and it was just like, it was like nothing. And that was, you know, we thought she would knock it back and that would be it. But she ended up like talking to us and invites us over to her dad's house, right? So we go over to her dad's house, and her dad is like some kind of like, he's like a truck driver, but he's got like a little side business on the side, and her dad's there. And I'm singing, not John Rich, but Big from Big and Rich. Big walks in, and he's got a girl on each arm, and it's just like it's a house party, but this is like a scene, man. People are like, and it's in this nice neighborhood, like off of West End. If you know Nashville, West End is like, man, these houses are expensive even back then, right? So we're in this house. There's party favors. There's girls. There's beer. It's like, okay, and Mark Colley was there, right? And so I'm with these guys, and you know, I'm in this band, and these guys in this band, end up going. We all end up hanging out at this place like several times, and Mark Colley's like there a lot, right? Dad did nose reconstruction. Fu Manpu. I think some of our compadres in the chat might understand what that means. I can't really, some of these things I have to do cryptic references because YouTube doesn't like references to illegal things. Okay, let's leave it at that. So Mark Colley is there. Big from Big and Rich is there. It's like, it seemed like it was like a party, like yeah, Chris, there you go. Okay, you know what I'm talking about. So it's just like we ended, because of this girl doing this shot, and we're just talking to her, we end up over at this place. Yes, everybody in the chat knows. So we're over at this place, and Mark Colley's there, and my band guys are there, and they end up talking to him because they're like, "Hey man, we've got a band," and you know, they're really like trying to, "Hey, maybe you could come see us and this and that." And Mark Colley goes, well, man, that's real good. That's real good. But let me tell you something, boys. If y'all want to get anywhere in life, you don't need to be hanging out here. So that's my Mark Colley story. Yeah, sometimes that happens, Matthew. Sometimes he had allergies. Yeah, he had allergies. Yeah. Fu Man, see, I knew Fu Man knew what was up. He knew what was up. But you're getting very impromptu stories here. This is not anything planned out. So people that join this chat, you're getting the real inside because this is unedited. I'm not thinking about what I'm going to say beforehand. He had a cold, couldn't stop sniffing. Yes, exactly. But, I think we did follow Mark Colley's advice and we stopped going over there because it was weird, man. It was weird. First of all, a girl inviting you over to her dad's house. When does that happen? Right? And I ended up knowing a girl that lived there for a while. Like there's crazy stuff that goes on. Congrats on the house. Thanks, SM. Yeah, so we're hoping to get in it, close on Wednesday. And then Friday, I'll be getting a truck and getting my guitars and everything. Ahoy from Key West. So Friday should be the day where we get our stuff. We already ordered a fridge, washer, dryer, all that stuff, man. It's a major hassle doing all this stuff. What's up, Scott? How you doing? But yeah, crazy Nashville stories. If you're joining late, you might want to watch the first part. The Peruvian, yes. I'm up in Isla Morada. Wow, Isla Morada. Man, I knew Tennessee pretty good, and I got to know Memphis and Knoxville, and I got to know the whole state pretty good. And it's kind of just, Tennessee is just like that. It's just like from one end to the other. And but Florida, man, I don't know where anything is here, man. It's gonna be tough for me, if I do some of these gigs, because in Nashville, man, I knew where to load in, I knew where to park, I knew where to go, I knew how to dress. It's like this is a lot for somebody starting over. You know what I'm saying? You gotta laugh, right? So I think today, after this is done, the wife and kid just went to go have some breakfast, and Yoo-Hoo and a pot of Joe with Lefty Marlboro, Blastmaster. I salute you, weekend warrior. Whatever it takes to get through the night or the day. David Lee Roth used to say, did you wake up or did you stay up? Harvey, salute from France. How you doing, my friend? Man, so good to have you here. Welcome to the party. We're in here just talking music business, guitars, bands, whatever you want to talk about. So if anybody out there has a topic, somebody just asked me about some country music stars and if I'd ever met any of them. And so I gave them a little Mark Colley story. Man, welcome. Glad to have somebody from France. That's the incredible thing about YouTube. If you come to the Keys, you can fish, nothing else to do. Whew. I hear you. Yeah, I really want to go to Key West, though. I really want to go. I still want to go. Now, I've been to Key West on a cruise ship. I did an oldies cruise with Gary Lewis and the Playboys. I used to play in that band. Every now and then, PBS will run a concert that we did, a little 3-song thing. And every now and then that'll run, and somebody said, hey, I just saw you on TV. Big hello from Orange County. Man, I love Orange County. Thank you. Yes, this is a new chapter for all of us, man. Because I tell you what, everybody on this channel, all the people, 99% of everybody, we're weekend warriors. We are soldiers of the song, right? This This is a community of like-minded souls. If you were playing a solo gig in a bar restaurant, would they frown on you playing originals? 8-mile bike ride, some bass playing later, hit me up 20 miles from Key West, been here 50 years. That sounds good, Blastmaster. If you were playing a solo gig in a bar, would they frown on you playing? All right, here's the deal with playing originals in your set. And I am of the mindset that if you blend them into your show, you can always sneak an original song in. But you need to be very careful about it because I don't think you'd get fired for it. But if you look, you know, Nashville's got so many songwriters, you could throw a stone and hit 2 or 3. And, you know, my thing about song and why I don't like going to those Bluebird or whatever the hell and all that songwriter nights and strummy strum with the acoustic is they're playing for themselves. And when you play out for people, like as a solo performer, say in the Florida type thing, you're playing for an audience. You're playing what you think they want to hear. So what you need to do is if you're going to sneak an original into a cover gig like that, the song needs to blend and work with the cover songs that you're playing. So don't try to play some dirge, you know, ballad or something if you've been playing upbeat party music all night, you know? Write a song like the songs that you're playing. Classic Cat, Deja Vu. Chris, it's funny, I think it was called the Classic Cat. And I did the opposite, Chris. I was at all of those places. I was at the Classic Cat. I was at Deja Vu. I went to all those places. I didn't refrain from going to those places. So, you know, the thing with playing those cover songs, you know, blend your own songs in with it. Write songs that work with the cover songs that you're playing, and then sneak it in. And hey, sell the song, sell it. Good morning from Clearwater. Good morning, my fellow weekend warrior. How's everybody doing? We've got a good crowd in here. I want everybody to hit that like button. I want everybody to hit the subscribe button. Let's get this party started right. Now, this could be my last live from this really cool Florida patio here with lizards and planes going off and everything. Deja vu, 100 beautiful women, 3 ugly ones. I can attest that is absolutely correct. That they have exactly 100 and then 3, Oh, man. Yeah. So, Chris, Deja Vu is no longer on the Monbrian. That's been bulldozed, probably put in a high-rise there. They did move it over, I think, by where the Hustler is, but that was after your time, so you probably don't know. Good morning from Northern California. Daryl, what's happening, brother? Everybody, let's have another toast. Did you wake up or did you stay up? That's what David Lee Roth used to say. Playing any shows yet? No, I haven't even tried to play shows. So many good people have reached out. Play bassist, Harold Bands, Marathon to Key West for 25 years. All right. No, and I'm not in a rush to play shows right now. For one, you know, the channel is starting to take off and people are loving these stories. And, you know, I've got people I need to reach out to when I get settled in Tampa and I get all my guitars unpacked and I get my studio set up and all that. And I'm going to reach out. But there's also things that I want to do with this channel and people I want to interview and people I want to bring in and some different content that I want to work on. So, no, I have not booked any gigs. And you know, I've talked with the wife, and look, if the money is not right, I'm not going to do it. You know, it costs a lot of money to go get out there with bands. It costs a lot of money to play gigs, and you know, there's a point where you make just enough to kind of break even and maybe cover your time, and then there's a point where you're losing money. So, do you have an acoustic or something to plug on while you're waiting to get into your new place? Yes, Jimmy. I've got. I had my SG, and I had it set right next to my computer. I had my computer on a dining room table right now. That's where I'm doing my editing. I mean, this is like, we don't even have like our clothes in drawers. I've been wearing the same clothes for like, you know, a couple weeks. If we just keep washing the same clothes, I've got 3 pairs of socks that I wash. Um, so we're living hand to mouth right now. But yes, I've got my SG, and I pick it up, and I'm keeping the hands warmed up. And I even one day I was able to fire up a backing track, and I had my little headphones on and was able to practice playing over some changes just to keep that up. Fart is going to be a learning curve as far as gigs go, but I'm not in a rush to get to that grind. I want to play enough gigs to make some extra content for this channel. Really, that's the way I'm kind of looking at gigs, and I never really looked at them that way. But you know, the last couple months of gigs in Nashville, I was treating the gigs like content builders, and I was, you know, I was chopping up solos and using them at the start of my videos, and then you know, somebody had asked in here about lessons about, you know, how I think it was Chris was asking about, you know, some lessons on what I was doing. I've got quite a few videos on there. There's one called Rockin' the Jazz. That is a rock player's guide to playing over jazz changes. That's a really good video as far as breaking down like what I'm playing when I'm doing that kind of stuff, because I am at heart, I'm a rock player, and I'll never be like a great jazz player, but I can fool you. I can fool you and make you go, yes, T-Knox, I'm a professional musician. Bob, what's up, brother? Deja Vu was a strip club in Minneapolis. Well, Bob, they had a Deja Vu in Nashville, exactly the same, and I think they even have one in Vegas. What's up, Bob? Now, Bob is a good friend that I went to Berkeley College of Music in Boston with, and man, Bob, I haven't even gotten into the Berkeley stories yet. That would be entertaining. Jesus love you. He's the way, the truth, and the life. Those who believe shall never die, but have an everlasting love. God bless you, Fadi. Thank you for that. Good morning, Brad. Thank you, Playa. Playa, what's up? Greetings from Luxembourg. Oh, man, that is amazing. See, we've got so many great, amen, yes. We've got so many great people on this channel, man, because we share this camaraderie, this fellowship of music. That's what this channel is all about. Please hit the like button if you can right now, and you know, you can lay your hands on the phone, and the music will heal your soul. Amen. MTS, what's up, brother? We're having a little Red Bull chat. I'm gonna try to make this a weekly thing, like a morning thing on Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. I'm just, you know, I have to get the wife. I had to keep reminding her, I'm going live tomorrow at 8. Hey, you remember, I'm going live. I had to wake her up this morning. Hey, I'm going live at 8. So, are you doing a backflip next? Your community is growing. Yes, it is, Chris. We are a lot. We are strong. All right. Love joining a live stream and having my comment skipped over. Hope you're having a good morning. Hey, I didn't mean to skip it over, brother, but it's hard. It's hard to keep up all the comments. Dreamsy, I appreciate you being here, and I'm trying to keep up with everything. What gauge acoustic strings? What gauge acoustic strings? Thank you, Crazy. Thank you. I would probably go for a medium or light gauge on acoustic. I don't play a lot of acoustic. I don't do a lot of acoustic gigs. I always told people if they called me to play acoustic guitar, I tell them I don't do it. No problem, Dreamsy. Hey, man, I'm playing catch up. And this is a relatively, I've had this channel since what, 2012? But I am new to this live streaming. I am new to the YouTube grind because before I was just too busy living life and playing gigs and being crazy and being BadBrad, which was a full-time job. And so I wasn't always, I have to play catch up with this YouTube thing. Here's a cheers to everybody. Smash that like button. That's a long time, my guy. It is a long time, 2012. And I never took the channel serious until about December of last year. What's a tone bar? That's a good question. What is a tone bar? Am I missing something here? I'm keeping the caffeine flowing. Rock on, BadBrad. Have to take care of better half. She has Alzheimer's. Oh man, I'm so sorry and partially blind. I'm so sorry to hear that, Dana. I wish you the strength and blessings for you because you are a noble, noble warrior. Thank you, Dana. Thank you. Thank you for your service, sir. Robert Hector, what is a tone bar, Robert? My brain doesn't always function properly. As you guys know, as you get older, you know, sometimes, let's talk about aging and being a guitar player. Love that patio. It reminds me of my grandparents' place in Florida. This is Mia's grandparents' house. So yes, are we in a simulation? How's it going, Big Dog? Hey, from Australia. What's up, Ozark? Goes on any six string under the bridge. Are we in a simulation? Elijah, I think we are. You do seem like a genuine good person. Thank you, Dreamsy. I'm trying to be. I'm trying to be. Yeah, they call me BadBrad because I was kind of wild back in the day, but I try to do right by people. It resonates. Okay, thanks, Robert. First time here. How's it going? Saying hi from Idaho. 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 That's what I'm trying to tell you. What bands were or are you in? Okay. Well, I was in a couple of Sunset Strip bands, one called Shock, one called Boy Elroy. Then I moved to Nashville and I started jamming with the Wooten Brothers and playing smooth jazz and stuff like that. And I've had a few bands called Suitcase Pimps, Load Sock. I was in the rap rock group called Rapnecks. We were on Farm Club on the USA Network. You can see the video. It's on YouTube. Google RAPNEXX, Farm Club. And then later I toured with Shelley Wright, who was a country singer. I toured with Gary Lewis and the Playboys, which was a band from the 60s. And I toured with hip-hop country artist Colt Ford. I'm living the dream. Bummer. I'm having trouble. BadBrad, did you ever use a trim for a Strat? I'm not sure what that is, Scott. I'm all for, back in the day, I loved the Floyd Rose, but pain in the ass to change strings, and I don't like the fact that the bar moves when you would do double stop bends. So I'm a big fan of Leo Fender's original invention, the 6-screw in the bridge, vintage Strat bridge. If it's set up right and your guitars and the nuts well lubricated, it'll work just fine. Tell us a good and interesting Sunset Strip story involving a famous musician that we probably never heard before. Okay, you want a Sunset Strip story? Does everybody want that? Played guitars. All right, it's hard when I'm telling these stories to keep up with the chat. So if anybody has a specific, back in the day, Rockinger Les Trim. Yes, I had that. Yes, Bob. Yes, Bob remembers me when I had my Les Paul Custom. And it was a second that I bought for $500. And that's what I took to Berkeley, right? And it had this, I got this trim bridge that fit on a Les Paul, so I could do like dive bombs on it and stuff. That is the one guitar that I wish I still had. I still, to this day, I don't really need any other guitars. I've got pretty much everything I need, a little bit more than I need. But the one thing the one that got away was that black Les Paul Custom. And man, I wish I could find that exact guitar. It had a two on the back of the headstock. And it had speed knobs, and it had a crack in the neck pickup ring that I glued together. So if anybody finds that guitar, it had purple lining on the inside of the case. I want that guitar. If I can't get that one, if I can't find the exact one, when I turn 60, which will be in 3 years, I want to get a Les Paul Custom. That's what I want. Oh, gotta be. Okay, there was a B. Okay, somebody was asking about a Sunset Strip story, and there's so many of them back in the day. But you know, I used to see Lemmy a lot, and I had a girlfriend from Sweden, right? And any creepy Jane's Addiction stories? Now, I never met those guys, but I used to see Lemmy a lot, and I would always see Lemmy sitting at the inside bar back in the day, playing the video games, and he'd be sitting at the back bar talking to John Entwistle from The Who. And those guys I would see together a lot, you know, two bass players. And, you know, they'd be hanging out, and Lemmy would be drinking his Jack and Cokes and all that, yes. And, but I started dating this Swedish girl, and she knew Lemmy, right? So one night, it was the two Swedish girls. I had the brunette, right? And she had a friend that was this blonde, right? Very statuesque blonde, I'll put it that way. And they were both, you know, young Swedish rocker girls. They wore the spandex pants and the, you know, it was like one of those girls that now tries to imitate that style. And so one night, it was me and my Swedish girl and the blonde and Lemmy, and we just hung out, you know, the whole night at the Rainbow. And he was, you know, talking to the blonde, and I was hanging with my girl, and I had this hat, this like trucker hat that said sex on it. It was black with white letters that just said sex. And those girls had that picture. They had a picture of the four of us taken at the Rainbow. And I found the Swedish girl years and years ago, before I got married. I found her on Facebook, and I said, "Hey, do you have that picture? I just, you know, especially after he died, I was like, do you have the Lemmy picture?" And she's like, "No, I don't remember that." And I'm like, oh my God, I wanted a copy of that picture. I've got pictures of me hanging out with the Swedish girls and her friend, and, you know, this and that, but man, I want that picture of the four of us that night, with me with the sex hat and Lemmy and the two Swedish girls. Man, that was like, I should have, you know what? I think about it now, and I should have been like, Lemmy, if you ever need a guitar player, man, I'm your guy. I should have, but, you know, we never did that back in the day. You didn't, you know, it was like you treat a rock star just like you, because we were all the same. We were all hanging out at the Rainbow. You know, it was, you know, you didn't want to gurm somebody, and you didn't want to be, oh, I think you're amazing and all that, because we were all, someone said Malmsteen's sister. So there were some crazy parties. There was a dude, FLG, that had a purple Excalibur. Dude, I got a story about that guy with the fig. Yes. So Steven in the comments is mentioning a guy, and this all ties into my story, and this is how crazy life is, and having this community, because he just reminded me of another loop to this story. So that guy Fig with that purple Excalibur, was it a Rolls Royce or what? And he would have a cat on his shoulder. He used to always hang out at the Rainbow. He'd always be outside, standing in front of his purple, Rolls Royce or Excalibur or whatever it was. And he'd have this cat, and it was like the cat would, of course, girls would go, oh, let me see your cat. And he's standing out there, and he was an old guy, right? He was old, but he would have like flunkies or like security guys like with him. And I had heard that Fig, okay, so I'm gonna tell you how he made his money. Marcus, it's getting harder for me to read this chat. It's like the phone's gone dark on me. So Fig had, apparently someone had said he had been a TV magician in LA, and maybe on the local broadcast or something. That's what I heard. Now, somebody else could please take your wig off. Okay, how's that for you? Hey, Clem, is this a wig? Does anybody see a wig? Okay. Bye, troll. So anyway, so this Fig guy, the Swedish girl, my girlfriend, one night, she says, oh, we go to party, I take you to party tonight. We go over to Fig, we've been invited over to Fig's. And I'm like, okay. And we go over there, and thank you, Dreamsy. You got no girls. Bro, hey, Clem, man, let me tell you something. I've had more girls and beers than you'll ever have in your life, bro. So somebody kick that guy out of this room, right? Bro, you're an idiot. Okay, so let's just ignore this fool, right? So anyway, so I'm with this Swedish girl, and she takes us, me and some of my friends, over to Fig's house. And he's got this house up in the hills, right? And Clem blocked. Yes, somebody blocked that guy. So we go up there, right? And we're kind of like hanging on. It's weird. It's a weird scene. It's not like a normal party. Like everybody's kind of aggro to us, and we're, me and some of my friends are out like on the patio, and we're kind of like looking out at the crowd. And then all of a sudden, I hear my girlfriend run out of the back. She had gone to go to the restroom, and Fig and some of his flunkies, his security guards, had like cornered her and got her in the bedroom and were trying to like hold her down, right? And do things to her. And she, fought her way off and came running out, and we're like, we're cursing at them, and we're, meanwhile they throw us out of the house, and she is in a complete, panic. And it's like, that guy was a predator, right? That guy, this man has, all right, I gotta delete this guy. Yeah, okay, yeah, bye. So, that guy was a predator, and he would use his Rolls Royce, his purple car, and he would use the cat on his shoulder, and he would use his house in the hills to lure people up to his house, and then do this kind of nonsense. And it's like, it's just crazy, But what's even crazier, it's even crazier that he's making it up. Of course what are people, Clem has a new account. Okay, yeah, okay, bye. So this is the first time I've ever had to like block anybody. We have such cool people on this channel, and these people just, they don't know what they're talking about. We've got idiots, known people that would troll those Sunset Sit Clubs who were raking in tons of money selling drugs. So that scene. Okay, well, talking about stuff under the table and all kinds of stuff, I never really had any money back in those days. So I wasn't really um, able to, really know what was going on under the table. I'm sure there was all kinds of stuff going on. And I can, you know, could probably tell some stories later on, but, you know, that, yeah, I mean, Blackie Lawless, or not Blackie Lawless, but what was Anthony Kiedis' dad? He used to deal out of the rainbow, I guess, right? That's what I understand. As you grow, you're gonna run into it. It's just the way it is. You go into any huge live chat, constant trolls. Wow. Thank you. Very, very cool insights. Thank you. Thank you so much. Birds chirping. It's a fine day. It's always a fine day. I used to hate in the morning hear the birds chirp, but now I love it. Now I love it. And that's what not drinking will do for you. What? Holy crap. Wasn't his dad an actor? Yes, his dad was probably an actor, but read up about Anthony Kiedis' dad. He used to hang out at the Rainbow. He would have all these girls over. He was, dealing and doing all kinds of stuff. His dad was a wild, wild guy, probably way wilder than, is that Cali? No, this is Florida, but yeah, the stories I was telling you about is, oh snap, I'm drunk as a skunk. Dreamsy, are you really drunk? Been sober for over 8 years. Good job, Dustin. Man, I think just being clear-eyed, is good. But, To Each Their Own. Scar Tissue was an awesome book. Yes, read the book. Read that book, and it'll tell you all about his dad. Man, I'm getting a tan out here this morning. Somebody was talking about would celebrities troll the rainbow? Absolutely. Absolutely. I would see rock stars there all the time. And, you know, there's an older story on my channel that I'm going to redo because, now that I've kind of figured out YouTube and figured out what people like, I need to retell the story, but it involves Slash, it involves Ron Jeremy, and a bunch of girls and a stripper, and it's a wild story. But I'll have to retell that. I'll have to retell it and redo it. But the Rainbow LA mini streams will assign moderators to manage the chat. Blue name and a wrench. Do you think aliens are real? Man, I don't know. I don't know, Elijah. Glad I caught you live. Hello from Michigan. Soon to be Columbia TN. All right, Anthony was going to ask about Ron Jeremy and John Holmes. Well, it's funny that you should mention that because John Holmes was long since gone by the time I got out there. Do you think God is real? Absolutely. All right, Dreamsy, thank you. Hello from Brisbane. Marco, what's up, brother? Man, it's just amazing to have people from France and people from Australia and all these cool people on here, my fellow weekend warriors. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. We're going to blow this channel up. We're going to have a good time, and you're going to get the real inside truth about the music business. Yeah, Johnny Holmes was packing heat, but man, that I was actually at Ron Jeremy's house, which is the end of the story. I actually hung out with a couple of girls that lived at Ron Jeremy's house, and ended up the next morning dropping them off at his house. So, and they invited me in, and I walked in and I saw, his living room and the whole thing, but Ron was not there. Now, I used to see Ron all the time at the Rainbow, but I never talked to Ron. I mean, I didn't have any interest. Was RJ wealthy? Ron Jeremy wealthy? I don't know. I don't know. He had a nice house back then. Ron Jeremy has a master's degree in special ed. He's a smart guy. I think a lot of those guys, In Ron Jeremy's case, he got used to a business where he could get away with anything, just go up to girls and do whatever. And I think he thought that's how the world worked, and it doesn't work like that, especially not now. That's why Excalibur feels you're dead, Jimmy. Okay, so another funny story is the Shock House where I lived with the band Shock, and for a little while, Boy Elroy. It was a house out in the valley. And we used to live, we lived in the valley in Van Nuys, and Vivid Video was right around the corner, the office for Vivid Video, which was the big, like, I would say high-end porn company back in the day. And I used to jog, you know, I used to run a lot to try and stay in shape and train. Like, I used to think of playing shows as like a sporting event. And, you know, sometimes in LA you would have bands that would call and say they're going to kick your ass, or, you know, you needed to keep your vocal chops. And so for me, jogging was something that I used to do in high school. I used to run a little bit of track early high school. And so when I got later in life, I would take it. The hedgehog is free. No, the hedgehog is in jail, and he has dementia. But I used to jog by Vivid Video. And you know, when you're jogging, you get that kind of that runner's thing where your mind is kind of, and I would see the girls going in to get their checks into Vivid Video, you know, and you're like running by, and you see, you know, young, attractive female going into Vivid Video, and you're just like imagining, like, who is that and what, you know? So, yeah, the Valley and Hollywood and all that, it was all just crazy, man. It was all, hey, what's the subject about? Stranger, we are talking about the music business. We're talking about LA. We're talking about Nashville. We're talking about guitar playing. We're talking about music. We're talking about everything in here. And people that watch my channel know that it's about music, guitars, and truth. So you get a lot of these little war stories, weekend warrior type stories, and we'd love to have you. That's what we're talking about here. Everybody hit that like button. Everybody hit that subscribe button. If you can donate a couple bucks, that's awesome. If you have any specific questions, the Valley was the capital of adult film industry. You're right, Jimmy. It also was the deciding factor in the beta or VHS wars. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. 79 years ago. When will the Kanye West... But oh my God, I don't know. I'm not getting into that. People have perverted minds. I like to keep things simple. We are talking about Christian things and pure things. Okay, yeah, I get it, Dreamsy. I get it. But you know, life, and when you're young and you're out in the world, life is complicated, man. So I get it. Yeah, somebody posted some nonsense. Playing a heavy, I loved exploring Hollywood, except Yucca. That street was literally the most dangerous street in Hollywood. Steven, you're absolutely right. And some of my friends ended up on the news on Yucca Street. Now, Yucca was like sort of the illicit street of Hollywood. And there would be guys from south of the border that would be on Yucca Street, and they'd be standing on the corner, and they would keep a brown piece of paper, like a paper bag ripped, and they would keep it under a car, like that was parked on the street, and people would go up and down that street and buy, you know, smoke, and they, like I said, these guys would, and you'd walk by and they go, mota, mota. And these guys would go underneath the car and just give you a handful and throw it in your hand, and you would go down the street. So there was, oh man, that, I'm telling you, you know, the world is dangerous now, but I think it was at the peak of dangerous back then in Hollywood, man. The things that I saw, the people that I saw, the desperation that I saw, It'll change your perspective on life, man, for the rest of your life. I wanted to be a musician or learn how to play piano, but I never could. You still can, stranger. You still can. You just start today. What years did you live in California? I lived in California from like 88 to 94. So the tail end of the Sunset Strip scene and beginning of the grunge thing. I lived in Humboldt County. We know what Humboldt's while you were in LA. All right. Hollywood was crazy, and I'm from New York City. Yeah, man, it's a different type of crazy. Do you ever get held up or anything out there, robbed? I'll tell you a funny story. This is a good one. So, used to work at the pawn shop, right? We worked at that pawn shop in Hollywood. And one day, what we would do is, we had gates, like we had security gates, and we had a whole alarm system and the whole thing. And they were like, me and two or three other long-haired, rocker guys, and our good friend, a black guy, Bird. And we would, and then the owner, one of the owners would be with us, and we would close up, right? So we would all go stand outside. He would say, okay, everybody out. And he would hit the alarm button, and then he would come out, and he would pull the gates, and we'd stand with him and make sure like we were guarding him. But this one day, we came out of the pawn shop, and there were guns drawn on us, and they're up against the wall. And we had like a SWAT team of police officers with guns to our head. And we're like, we work here. And the owner comes out and, oh, hey guys. And he continued, rather than call the police off, he just continues locking the gate and and we're like, Ernie, tell him we work here. Tell him we work here. And so, we weren't robbed, but we were at gunpoint. I've got all kinds of stories of having to run down the street run away from crazy people or run after crazy people. Man, back in the day, you would trust a stranger doing bumps in the bathroom. Well, I wouldn't personally trust them, but yeah, it happens. Yeah, they did, everybody. Hope you find some great players for your Florida journey. I've reached out to an amazing drummer, Pat McDonald from the Charlie Daniels Band. So I'm hoping to do some stuff with him. What was the difference, as an example, between a band's pay at one of the big Sunset clubs and then and then once you moved and started making it in Nashville? Okay, I've said this, the pay in LA on the Sunset Strip, and I think about it now, and I worked a day job the whole time I was out there. I was always working, whether it was at the pawn shop or at a Hollywood boutique hotel that I worked at. But the pay was non-existent, okay? We had a manager, so at the peak of when I joined the band, they were pretty much at the peak, and they were already headlining the club. So we were headlining the Roxy, and there was never even a discussion of, oh, we're going to give you a couple $100. So I never made a dime playing any of those clubs. Gazzari's, the Whiskey, the Roxy, the Coconut Teaser, and the Waters Club, which was south of LA, and the Marquee, which was south of LA. And we played some club in San Diego one time, and that was a wild thing. But we had a manager, and we had a rehearsal space that cost, the rent was probably maybe $800 a month or something like that. So, it's a good chance that he was probably getting the $1,000 we were getting for the show, and he was just paying for the studio. So, and I was paying rent. So I was paying rent to the manager who had the band house. So I didn't make a red cent out in LA. I think maybe one time did a gig playing with an independent artist where they paid me like $50 to go show up and play their set. Warehouse Records by Sunset by Ralph's. Yes, I love that Warehouse Records. I lived right nearby there. Um, by that record store. Yes, there was a symbol, a yacht rock group in Florida. Yeah, I need to. I want to do the yacht rock thing. It just, man, you got to have good players to play that yacht rock stuff, man, because it's not just C, G, and D. I was asking another guy about doing solo gigs in here, and I said, "Oh, do people do backing tracks?" And they said, "No, they mostly use a looper." Well, a looper is not going to work for a song that has more than 4 chords and has a bridge. Looper's not going to work for that. Looper's for the guy who wants to jam over 4 chords, or an 8-bar progression, or whatever. It's not going to work for playing those yacht rock tunes or playing Steely Dan songs. And there's no loop. You can't loop that. Hey, Brad, great channel. I live in Lady Lake, Florida, which is about 1.5 hours. Tampa, I was wondering if you would be up for giving me a few lessons, just looking for cool new riffs and licks. Yeah, that's an absolute possibility, Ryan. Why don't you go to the description of my channel, my email's in there. Send me an email if you'd like to take a lesson. And I could do Zoom as well. So I can do a Zoom lesson, or you could drive, whatever works best for you. Okay, Lady Lake by the Villages. I just drove by the Villages yesterday. I had to drive to the new house, and had to do the final walkthrough and go through all the touch-ups and all that nonsense. So, hey, sexy man. Okay, Cats worldwide. Well, hey, Cats. Thank you. At my age, that gets less and less spoken, so I appreciate it. I do dig your playing, Brad. It kind of reminds me of more version of Alan Hines. Now, Alan Hines was a guy that I used to watch quite a bit when I went to GIT, and he is he's kind of from the Holdsworth school, and I listen to a lot of Holdsworth. Now, I can't even pretend to say that I can play anything Holdsworth but a couple of chords and a couple of licks that I grabbed, but never had the time to really learn his stuff. Let's have another sip. And we got 38 people in here. I want everybody to hit that like button. I want everybody to hit the subscribe button. If you can kick a couple bucks in, if you got a special question, I'll do my best to address it. Hassan Imposter, okay. Hide user. I guess I'm doing pretty good on this channel if I'm getting trolls, right? As a young musician in the late 70s, it was my dream to go to California. Hindsight now is much different. I think that's why I'm alive today. Man, I tell you what, I feel lucky to be alive. I feel lucky to be alive and survived all the things I did. And I've resigned myself now that if I never do another gig again, I'm okay with that. But I do miss the camaraderie. I tell you what I miss the most about playing gigs. I miss Clem's back, okay? Which, is that Clem, you think? Why do these people... Look, hey, man, this guy wants to get on here and say that I've had no chicks. I'm married, bro. I don't know. Always hidden. Okay. Music pay is low, Daddy-O. There are some decent gigs. Got to have a great band. Yeah, I got to have a good band. Alan is very melodic, like jazz influence and bluesy is where it's at. Yeah, Alex, I really like Alan Hines playing. I love that. When I went to GIT, I graduated with a certificate in fusion guitar. And I actually got to play the graduation ceremony, which was, I was selected by Tommy Tedesco and Ralph Humphreys and I think one other guy. And so that was, Clem has respammed as a cat. Alan is very melodic. Random question, do you play pinball machines? Man, I used to love pinball machines. what do you guys think out there? I used to love to play pinball. I used to go to the 7-Eleven when I was a kid and take a couple quarters. And yeah, I would love to do that. Gosh, to a political chat. Go to. No, I don't. No, this is not a political chat at all. I'm seriously considering buying an Ibanez Chrome Boy. Anyone have any thoughts or experiences with it? If you've got the money for that, Ryan, and I hear they're really good guitars. Now, I'll tell you a story. When I was a bellman at the boutique hotel in West Hollywood, Joe Satriani stayed at that hotel. We had so many celebrities. And at some point, he had to check out and he needed to leave some guitars behind and he was coming back to the hotel. So he checked them into the bell desk and I knew exactly who it was. I knew it was Joe Satriani. I knew I could, I bought the Surfing with the Alien album. And a Chrome Boy was one of the guitars that he checked. And look, I couldn't help myself. When I was the bellman, and when I checked his guitars into the bell desk, I closed that bell closet, which was locked once that door closed. And so I'm in that closet by myself, the only one with a key, except for the security guard on duty. And I had to open up that case and just kind of go like that. Just kind of hold it and go, oh man, cool. It was a cool guitar, man. A friend of mine has the Rush pinball machine, super cool. The Satch guitars are the only ones that really have a Fender-like neck shape, not the paper-thin wizard neck. Well, then I would probably totally dig it. I think I would probably really dig one of those guitars, but I just don't use a Floyd Rose that much anymore. Did you ever meet Ted Green? No, I didn't. And if I'd have really known what I was doing back then, I would have asked to take a lesson with him, even though I was not on the level to really get the wisdom that he was teaching. I've watched a lot of videos with him, and I knew a cat that was in my class that took some lessons, a Hawaiian guy that took some lessons with Ted Green. Man, I tell you what, that was one of those things, like opening up the case, and they were both Ibanez guitars, but I remember the chrome one and just thinking, man, that's a cool guitar. That is a cool guitar. You ever tried a Vega Trem? I've heard great things about the Vega Trem, but I don't know. I have not. Did you ever meet any famous jazz cats? Yes. I didn't meet them, but I got to go to a seminar with Joe Pass, one of the greatest jazz guitar players of all time, man. If you like jazz, go listen to Joe Pass. He's incredible, and everything he plays makes complete sense. And he can play by himself and carry a song. And I asked him a question. I was always fascinated, just like kind of the people that watch this channel. I was always into the stories. Tell me a story. And so I'm at this seminar with Joe Pass, and he's asking, any questions? And a lot of people would be shy and not ask questions, on these seminars. And but I raised my hand and I asked Joe Pass. I said, because I had heard that he had been around Charlie Parker, and so I said, can you tell me anything about Charlie Parker? He says, yeah, I can tell you something about Charlie Parker. I've seen him, in an alley and slumped over. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. I think Joe had his issues in the past with substances and overcome them. So I think he was making a point of, I've had other people tell me, I'd ask people to tell me stories about Miles Davis and stuff, and they'd all kind of respond with, oh, you're into the romance of it all, like these war stories that we share. It's kind of like, those war stories that we tell. It's part of the experience. But they both times when the time I asked about Miles Davis, they both gave unflattering responses because I think they wanted me to, man, let's focus on the music and not the charade, shall we say. But look, we all love to hear the stories, right? All right, went to a seminar with Howard Alden. Difficult to come with. Okay, so does anybody know who Howard Roberts is? Another famous musician and the founder of GIT, MIT in California. Another great studio player and another great jazz guitar player. Incredible guitar player. Amazing genius, right? Part of the Wrecking Crew, I think, at one time, right? And my teacher, my private instructor at GIT, had told me that he had walked in on Howard Roberts in one of the rooms with a screwdriver and doing some of the things that people had talked about in another story that I had told before. But so he may have been deep in his cups at this point in his life. And I went to a Howard Roberts seminar at GIT, and he, for about, I don't know if it was a couple hours, but I don't think he ever put on a guitar. It was just him and a chalkboard, and he was just off on this, like, I can't even describe. I just sat there mesmerized at what this guy was talking about. It was so esoteric and so above everyone in the room's thought that I don't know if it was induced, but no one understood anything he was saying. It was just this whole, like, diagrams of circles and pyramids and this and 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 it was the most bizarre seminar. I expected to go in and learn a couple bebop licks and hear a couple jokes, because that's what most guys would do on a seminar, is play a few licks or maybe play with a band and then talk about what they were doing. You into the Mahavishnu? Yeah, I love all that. King Crimson, all that stuff. Check out Girl Talk. Howard Roberts, man. Howard Roberts, well, an amazing player, man. He is amazing. English or Spanish? This is an English channel. His lips move, no words came out. Okay, probably the Overtone series. Any advice for a bass player moving to Nashville area? The most important advice I can give any musician, Anthony, is to learn the songs. I had talked to somebody, they said there was a shortage of bass players in Nashville. Okay, so you can find it online. Do a search for the Nashville Broadway song list. And anything that's top of the country charts, learn the changes to the songs. You don't have to learn the bass part exactly like the record. Don't fret over that. But maybe write out some number charts for those songs, and maybe have a little iPhone thing with notepad with all the changes of the Broadway songs. And if you know songs, you can get gigs. Go downtown, introduce yourself. Hey, I'm a bass player. Talk to other bass players, because other bass players, every time I played down on Lower Broadway, after I got done playing, someone would say, hey man, I got a 10 to 2 tomorrow. Can you fill in for me? And so that's how you do it. Once you get one gig and you do a good job. He's an Iranian orphan. I don't even care about these people. You ever play with a Nashville bassist, Robbie Helton? No, I don't know him. I'm fluent in both, can do the survival German. Okay. Hi, Hannah. What's happening, Hannah? How's everybody doing? Now, this is the longest live chat that we've done. I want everybody who hasn't done it all right, hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. We got 42 people in here. We're rocking and rolling. Hi, Hannah. How you doing, everybody? Mans, hi. This is like a music and cool stories. Great to hear about your music training. Yep, Nashville number system. Yeah, learn songs. The most valuable thing. If I could do anything different, learn songs. I have no mother, no father, no sister, no brother. Please support me, okay? Bad, did you ever sing in bands? Yes, I sing a lot. And that's another thing I would encourage you to do. Work on your vocals. If you're a bass player, learn how to sing harmony. Be able to sing lead on 2 or 3 songs to give your singer a break. He's a survivor. Hi, what up from NorCal? What's happening? Friedman, Bogner, or both? I would say both. I want all the amps, and I also want some vintage Fender amps mixed in with that combination, and you should have all bases covered at that point. Hello, I do not do politics. This is not a political channel. From what I understand, politics is a vlog killer. We are all, I'll see you, dude. Bye, mans. See ya. Hello, Eminem. Okay, I'm not Eminem, but I appreciate. What do you recommend for a guitar starter? As far as learning or a guitar to purchase? Let me know, Black Guy. What is harder, live gigs or live streams? Man, I would say live gigs in a million times. You know, we have very high standards in Nashville, and I often felt on gigs like I was teetering on the brink of falling off. So how you doing? I'm doing good. Play fast up. Good morning from Kansas. Thank you so much. How you doing? I'm doing good. How do I get your autograph? All right. Well, I guess you would have to come to a gig, I think. Reefer Madness. I'm learning right now, so just trying to get the basics. Okay, Black Guy, the first thing you need to learn is all the cowboy chords. Start there. Learn G, C, D, E, A. Learn those shapes, be able to change chords, and pick a song. Pick a 2-chord song, pick a 3-chord song, and start strumming and hammering out those chords. That's the best advice. If I was teaching you one-on-one, that's what I would tell you to do. Learn your cowboy chords. We would start with that, and I would teach you how to play your first song the first day. I go, here's a 2-chord song. There's plenty of songs that are just A to D. Just My Imagination by the Stones. Now, I know that's a remake of a Motown song, but mostly that song, the whole song, is just A to D. Yeah, they throw in an E there in the bridge, but something like that. Start with that. Playing my acoustic guitar since my early joys, just turned 40, getting ready to buy my first electric. All right, Joe, I like the sound of that. Follow God. Yes, I agree. Good morning. Are you Elvis? Man, I don't know, man. I don't think I'm Elvis, man, but I do my best, man. I'll tell you, man, I started playing music, and I just can't help myself, man. Watch out, my lips coming up, man. Yes, I am Elvis. Thank you very much, baby. I'm a huge Elvis fan. No, I'm not Elvis. I will make sure, learn the cowboy chords. Does he look like Elvis? Not really. But I will say, for my wedding, I had my hair cut in a pompadour, and I had the sideburns, and I went to Memphis, and I bought the Elvis wedding jacket and shirt. Man, you could pull that off. I'll tell you what, man, if I could make money being an Elvis impersonator, I could do it, because I know all the songs. My daughter, I try not to expose her to, hardcore music yet. Lime and the Coconut by Harry Nilsson is just 2 chords. There you go. That's actually, it's really just 1 chord with the alternate bass line, right? Elvis, the Mexican Elvis. Man, I'll tell you, where's your next gig? My next gig is the next time I go live here. But I just moved, Black Guy. I moved to Florida. I was in Nashville for 30 years, so I'm not in a rush right now to get back to gigging, because I've been doing it so long, man. It's almost like YouTube is kind of my new focus. We've got 24 people in here. We've been on for 78 minutes. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be on here. No augmented minors, moving, ascending, alternate force. Where's your next gig? Sue the hairdresser. Thanks, Dean. I appreciate that, brother. Thanks for the compliment. If anyone's coming through Northeast Alabama, needs guitars, amps, strings, I have a new store called the Guitar Shack. Okay? Thank you, Guitar Shack. I just gave you a free plug. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. I want to thank everybody. I played bass in an Elvis tribute, and that was on point, brother. Wasn't an easy gig. No, it's not an easy gig. And you think if you're doing an Elvis gig, you gotta cover several different decades of styles of playing. Heavenly Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Yes, I'm praying for my brother and sister. Hey, good luck. Didn't mean to be discouraging with my comment yesterday. Hey, no problem, Dylan. I understand. Hope you do well here in Florida. Thank you. Bing bong, Eric Blue. What's happening, brother? How you doing, man? I salute you, weekend warrior. You all rock on. FU is moving on up. All right, brother. Check out Dred Zeppelin. Yeah, when I was out in LA, Dred Zeppelin was a thing. The Elvis impersonator playing Zeppelin songs. Do you like the Digitech drop pedal? I've never used it. I've never used it. But I'm gonna get ready to head out of here. It's hotter than Hades out here, and it's been on for 80 plus minutes. So unless anybody has any pertinent, James Burton is amazing. Yes, he is. If anybody has any last minute super thanks or super chats, I'm gonna head out of here. Unless you guys keep me here, I'm rolling out. Have a great day, y'all. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you on the next video. Have a great weekend. Thanks everybody. I will see you on the next one. Peace.